right, hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Jaquez, and this is your Best Life Defined. How you doing today, man? Doing good, living large, got this thing going on. Christmas is over. You're kind of trying to calculate how much money you owe, how long it's going to take you to pay all that crap off. You know what's funny is, I got to say this. I'm sorry, I got to say this, but I was talking to people about Christmas. I'm kind of like, hey, yeah, Christmas is coming. Just testing the water, right? It's amazing how many people are like, yeah. We didn't make a big deal over Christmas. I got a couple small things, got my wife a couple things. We don't have any debt. There's no residual debt tied up in our Christmas anymore, because I've kind of just decided that, maybe it's more about family and spending time with people you love than it is that great gift you get or you give that ends up in a box in the garage in less than a year, right? It's just like, oh God, why did they buy me this? I don't know. We'll regift it. And in the meantime, the economy gets a boost, I guess. I guess that's what it's really about. But when you think about something like Christmas, though, why don't we stop? Why don't we change something about that? Why don't we just, imagine what would happen, how much stress would be reduced if we said, okay, let's just skip all the gifts. Let's just celebrate the reason for the holiday, which is love and religion and God and that spiritual side of things that is based in the idea of being kinder and being a better person and being more giving and more loving, right? Woo! That would change something, wouldn't it? That would change a lot in the world, right? But what's stopping us? What stops us from affecting such major change? When it comes down to it, it's us. And this is the problem with nearly 90% or 99% of the reasons we end up looking back at this January where we made these resolutions, and in December we'll be looking back and realizing that we didn't do any of it. We started it, but we just kind of petered out. He was doing fine, got the membership to the gym, going back to the gym. Well, maybe not today, going back to the gym. Never mind. That's what it feels like, right? There's a reason for that. There's a reason, and part of that reason is we are so encumbered by so much information that we don't actually have time to think about us, to actually set that time aside to do that. Because if you add something to your life and the feeling you get from adding that thing to your life is stress because of all the things you're not able to do, that thing you added to your life isn't going to last very long, especially if it's a choice. Think about this podcast. If I were to look at this podcast as a burden and not an opportunity, and I show up here every day and I do this, but while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about all the crap I need to do, I'd rather be doing, this would be the wrong thing for me to do. And see, there's the issue right there. That's what's stopping you from achieving your goal. New Year's common goal for New Year's is stop drinking, lose some weight, or go get back in the gym and be a better person, right? Maybe some other of the list. Maybe I think 3 are about the best I can do. And I got to say, for me, I haven't even thought about really, okay, what's my next goal? I think my next goal for this next year is to be better at this, to get that book finished, which, by the way, just so you know, I am on the final edit, still working on the name, but the book is coming out. If you're interested in RV life, or you do RV life, check back with me and make sure you check in. It's going to be everything you need to know about RVing. And so I'll leave you with that. But when I look back, I'm looking at taking action between now and the time that book is actually published. Every day. If it doesn't happen, guess who got in the way? I did. I got in the way. I made the decision. I justified it or valued it in my head enough that I could say, well, I don't really need to do that anymore. I know it's cool and all that, but I don't have to really do that. Shit, I'll just sit on my butt and do nothing. Got in my way. How many times have you had an idea, and even before your partner could jump on the bandwagon of, oh, that sucks, I wouldn't do that, you've already ran that scenario over in your head like 10 times? A whole list of reasons why you probably shouldn't go ahead and get started, why you can't. What will people think? I can't do it. I don't want to fail. Happens every day to every one of us. What's interesting is the difference between people who actually are able to push past that and the people that aren't is where they put it. The connection it has to where you're going, right? I do this because it's make my life better. I do this because it keeps me focused and it gives me energy. And let's just say that it never does. Let's just say that this whole podcast never does anything for anyone. You know, a few island people, but I get good enough that maybe there's people out there that say, yeah, you know what, I understand what you're saying. I started applying some of these principles to my life and they're working. But even if that doesn't happen, guess what? This is given energy to me, and the idea of that happen is given energy to me so that I can do other things. And not only that, but it's training. This is training for me to be able to wake up and do something, not because of what it's going to give me or the rewards I've already gotten, but because I've committed to do that. Because I guarantee you, let me just say this. No matter what you start, what endeavor you start out on, it's going to suck throughout that whole process. It's not just going to suck to get up at 5 o'clock and go to the gym New Year's Day or the day after New Year's. It's going to suck the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. And if you don't make it to the gym, when you stand up and look in the mirror, you're going to see who stopped you from doing that. Pretty simple, isn't it? Pretty simple. So how do you curtail that? How do you change that so you have a greater rate of success? You have to build a story around it. You have to build a story around this thing that you're thinking, this image that you have, and you have to paint a picture in your mind of what this action is worth to you, what it will do for your life every day, what will sacrificing and getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning do for your life at the end of the year. I work out every day. I got back into it. I had a shoulder injury. Got a heck of a workout this morning before I'm doing this podcast, right? And all I'm thinking is, well, I run up over these picnic tables. There's some concrete picnic tables, and I jump up one side and over the picnic table as quick as I can, about 20 times, and it gets it's hard. There's a lot of cardio involved, right? I'm sitting there doing this exercise. I'm thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? The reason I'm doing this is because I'm really loving this thing I'm living, this life. I really love the time I get to spend with my wife, with my family, exploring. I'm so amazed at how good it feels to get out into nature. And, you know, it's funny, COVID-19, there's nothing to do, we're locked down. No, you're not locked down, you've chosen that. I spent 3-4 hours yesterday walking around just exploring, looking at things I've never seen before, smelling smells I've never smelled before, hearing sounds I've heard a lot of times. It was cool. And it was available. It was right there. And the reason it happened is because I didn't get in my own way. My wife didn't get in her own way. We said, hey, listen, we should make this a part of our life, more a part of our life than it is now. And the next thing you know, guess what we're doing? We're out there kicking rocks. And the world is beautiful. Just so you know, if you haven't looked up at the sky, if you haven't spent any time just looking at even people are amazing when you stand back and you actually truly appreciate who they are. And the only reason that you're not even doing that, the only reason that you're not able to even find the time to do that is because you're allowing yourself to get in your own way. Let me let you in on a little secret. So I still do social media. I do Twitter. I post my podcast to Twitter. I go on social media on Facebook every once in a while, and I post a podcast to Facebook. But I'm okay not looking at my phone every minute. I mean, granted, there's some pretty interesting stuff on my phone. I watch YouTube videos on the Kalahari Lions. I mentioned this because I think I'm friggin' obsessed with it now. Weirdest, craziest stuff you'll see. If you think you're a tough guy, go look at the lions and how life is on the Kalahari or the Serengeti. Yeah, you'll see some rough stuff. There's some crazy stuff goes on out there. You ain't tough, right? But we have to take action that moves us forward. You have to take action. What's your action? Getting to the point, wrapping this thing up. What is your action? What will be your action? It's those resolutions. Now, let me ask you this. Back to that picture. What does it take for me to show up and work out every day? It's looking at my wife and realizing that she works out every day. It's wanting to spend more time with her. It's wanting to spend time with my grandson and maybe to even meet my grandchildren's children. Wow, wouldn't that be cool? It's wanting to be able to kayak when my kids call me up and say, hey, Dad, you and Mom want to go kayaking? And we're 68, 70 years old. We're like, yeah, we'll get them loaded up and we'll go down there. That's what's driving me forward. And I refuse to let it get in my way. What about you? What about you? Got that list? Write that list down. And here's a suggestion for you. And do what you want to do, but here's a suggestion for you. Pick something that's important to you. For you. Look down the road and see why success is so necessary. Look down your road when you finally get there and see why success is so necessary. And then every day you get up and you face that challenge and you do that thing you need to do, whether you want to or not, you see that image in your mind of where that choice has taken you. And you go for it. And you get up and do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And when you're tired, you do it again. And before you know it, guess what? You'll be looking back and you'll say, that wasn't shit. Because that's how it works. And you got a full tank, you got fuel's running over, you got energy because you won, because you picked it and you did it. And that's where it starts. That's where living your best life starts. The reason you run out of gas with the life you're living is because it's not your life. You picked it. Yeah, it's the blueprint of how to live the American dream. I get it. The debt, no choices, no time, no fun. I don't know. I think there's another way to do it. I think that if you want to live your best life, the best way to start is to stop standing in your own way. Stop stopping you from becoming the person you can be, and more than that, from living the life you deserve to live. I don't know if you're getting it. I don't know if you're picking up on what I'm sharing with you, but it's working for me. From where I'm at, I mean, what are you going to do today? This is the biggest obligation I have besides that workout. Can you imagine? Think about it. Hey, listen, I really appreciate you showing up. I hope this is changing your life. I hope it's making your life better. As you can see, I'm really working at this. I really want to connect with you. Not because of what you can give me, but because of what I'm trying to give you. Something in your life needs to get better. Maybe this is the way to do it. So, hey, keep that in mind. As always, I appreciate you showing up. Thank you for doing what you do, and it will come. I guarantee it. Until next time, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.